Hello, everybody. Trying to get this set up where we can see MNQ and MES. I was looking at gold. All right, so the market opened, pushed down to settlement, took out a 4-hour high, yesterday's 4-hour high, daily high. So that would be bearish to here, possibly. We don't know what's going to happen. So all we can do is just move our little line, mark our breakers out. It's the lowest low, last green candle. We don't have one over here. I'd have to go to a smaller time frame, but any of these wicks would serve. Let's go to regular trading hours only. We just took out pre-market low, which was here on NQ and here on ES. I think ES. Yeah, that's London low right there. London low on ES is way down here. Yeah, right here. We may have taken London low. Let's see. Yeah, I think we took it. You can see NQ is starting to put up a reversal pattern. ES is not yet. ES took London low as well. So if we can get a reversal pattern here, I think we could see a zoom. We have a gap fill to the upside up here, 30,509. I think we need to go to a smaller time frame over here, maybe a 15-second or a 30-second. Yeah, so there we can see it. We have some breaker potential there. I would say settlement's going to kind of be our breaker there. If we can get a fair value gap above settlement over here on NQ from here, that would be a trade I would be willing to take. But we're only 11 minutes into past the open. That would be a real sweet setup because 15 minutes after the open, oftentimes I will take a trade. But we did take a 4-hour high on ES, so that might mean we're bearish on both indexes. That might mean we're bearish, but it don't look too bearish. So that wicked into this little fair value gap here, and then zoom. So I would like to see both indexes get well above settlement with a fair value gap if we're going to have more upside. Downside potential, we have pulling back half of yesterday's move is a possibility. I think this is the afternoon low, and that's the AM low for yesterday. But it's looking like we're kind of wanting to go up. Gold is going up. So ES wicked into and then pulled right back. I wonder where midnight open is. Okay, we're well above midnight open. I think. Yeah. There's midnight open roughly over here. Did we make a new low just now? It looks kind of like we may have made a new low. Midnight. Well above it. And where's the New York open? RTH, that's a 15-minute. We just got above the New York open. So we'll mark that. So if we're above midnight, then we're above New York, that is an indication of bullish. We opened with a gap up and we filled it. ES is yet to get above the New York open. But we're working that way. It's looking like a good long setup. Okay, so this being our 30-second breaker, do we have a fair value gap above it? This is the first one that I see. We have the first presentation fair value gap that could serve as an inversion. So let's keep an eye on it. And we'll also keep an eye on this one right here at the New York Open. ES is still below its open. And it left some relative equal lows down here on the 15-minute chart from yesterday. Doesn't have to take those. Higher lows are good. So this pre-market low we took, now we just seem to be zooming. Let's see if ES has put up a fair value gap above the breaker. It did, and it almost wicked into it there. Now we're above the New York Open. If I could get in somewhere around here, we need to wait for this candle to finish. Somewhere around this fair value gap would be the optimal entry. I think I might try it over here. Oh man, I clicked the wrong one over here. Surprised I didn't get a hedging alert. It's the first prez. Am I about to dump $100? That was a close one. $300 to the moon on a Friday. Anything's possible. I do like that right there. I like that a lot. Bouncing off the first presentation fair value gap, rejecting back to the upside violently. 40 points. I'm going to try to buy two more right at the open of this candle right there. Oh man. I'll do it right at the opening 1 minute candle there. This is the New York Open. A lot of times they'll use the top of that candle as a breaker and just fly to the freaking moon. ES is not following suit over here, really. It came all the way back down to settlement, but it is making a higher low so far. Fridays can be a bit of a chop fest. I might lose this trade, and I sure don't want to. Back to New York Open. Yeah, I don't like this much at all. I'm going to take it off. We're early. Give me a wick test here. This will be our fair value gap after the breaker, and it's not even respecting it. So yeah, I gotta take it off. Dadgummit. I thought for sure that was gonna zoom. Now I don't trust anything I see. NASDAQ is really good about making sure you don't trust anything you see. 10 o'clock. Had to come down and wick that one out. ES made a higher low. Now it's ripping higher with a fair value gap. Maybe this one will be the one. I might take it on ES. Could be just ranging right here. These lows may need to get taken first. I would say at this point, the only thing we're going to get for more upside would have to be a fair value gap above here. Otherwise, we're just going to chop in this range until 3 p.m. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but it could. Took a 4-hour high. Why not take the 4-hour low? It's a real nice little wick right here into this fair value gap. I'm going to try ES. I got to put it way down here below the fair value gap. Man, I don't like that at all. 250 bucks. New all-time high on a Friday. We're above the breaker with a fair value gap. It's been respected so far. I just don't see it happening. I see us ranging here. Come on, ES, lead the way. It's a good signal. It's got about one more 1-minute candle to prove that it's going up, and then I'm out. We open, push down, push back up, took the high, push back down, left the low, went back up, took the high, and it feels rangy. It feels rangy. Dang it. I got to take it off. It may work out, but I still got to take it off. This is just trash price action right here. It is worth a shot. Your 15-minute candles can be your friends here. This is still in play because it hasn't traded through it with a candle body yet. But right now, this is the range we spent yesterday afternoon in, right there, and right over here. We've taken the high of that range, but we haven't taken the low. We haven't shown a willingness to go outside of it. We're well above where we pushed down. Why do I have that as a 4-hour RTH? It is one. Right there. So that's yesterday's afternoon low. That's at yesterday's afternoon high. We've taken the high, but not the low. Now we're kind of just fiddling in the middle. Above midnight says bullish here. I think we're above midnight over here too. Yeah. There's the midnight candle. So we're well above midnight over here too. But extended hours, look at that range. I'm just eroding my profits in a range. Dead middle. ES is at the top of the range. And it took the high from yesterday afternoon. I'm going to mark this out for a bearish move. So pre-market, this is our breaker to the downside, right there. Did we have a fair value gap beneath it ever? We had one right here. We tried to come back to it. We had another one here. We went back to it again with a fair value gap to the upside. So far, we're respecting that breaker, pre-market 834. We pushed up, made a lower high. We've come down. We've swept the pre-market low, but we have not shown a willingness to get above this. So we would need to get above that with a fair value gap, or a fair value gap to the downside could mean we move down to here. Let's see if there's similar structure over here. Get rid of this. That's first pres. We'll leave it on. Okay, so pre-market high, we already took. High of the day yesterday, we already took. The last red candle before the highest high is right here. The ICT breaker would probably be like this, would be like an order block, or here would be an order block. I just use the last red candle as a potential breaker. And so let's see how we performed around it. We pushed away, fair value gap, it came down, we swept pre-market low. That would actually be the breaker for this run down on a 1 minute chart. So we would need to get above that with a fair value gap in order to take a trade to the upside. So far, we're still working off a bearish breaker because we took that. So I basically took two trades that I shouldn't have taken. This one, the bullish breaker is here. And we did put up a fair value gap, came back down, made a higher low, and then worked into this fair value gap, never did violate it. I killed my trade, but it would have been okay still. And now we're pushing higher. So that is this little fair value gap right here. If on the 30-second chart, settlement was the deal. If it were to remain open, I might take the trade. I would like to see it break out of here and get up into here, showing a willingness that we're really going to go on a run before I try to get involved in a trade. But it looks like we're going to go somewhere now. Don't get too excited with this because 15-minute chart, ugly. Very, very ugly. The only thing I would be encouraged by is we took out the wick right here. We could just be going to the highs, straight back down. We need to see a decisive move that direction. I'm going to try the NQ again. I still think we might be ranging, but if we're going to zoom out of here, that's our entry right there. but I don't think we're going to zoom out of here. But we already traded back through that fair value gap right there. Completely closed it in. The only one we could be working off of is the first prez, which I would need to get a little lower, get below it. We're back below 50. Yeah, this is just an absolute chop fest. This candle would have to go all the way and break out through the highs in order for this to remain a valid trade if we're working off the first presentation. And it's just not going to do it. Yeah, undisciplined trading this morning for sure. Well, not necessarily undisciplined. The signals are pretty because we're in that range. The signals are pretty bad. Um, one rule about reversal signals that I am ignoring and I shouldn't be. The market has to go somewhere first, and a 100-point move in Nasdaq is nothing, absolutely nothing. And so that's the first question you should ask yourself: have we gone anywhere yet? Trying to catch this move, it's okay. You can try to catch it one time, good. Now I've tried 3 times and failed all 3. That's the problem. Trying once, yeah, give it a try. It's worth a try. Trying 3 times, it's not worth the try. So now we have to wait for the market to go somewhere. 100%, no exception. We have to wait for it to go somewhere. Right now it has no willingness to even go anywhere. It's very happy here. And as we've seen during this week, it can stay right here all freaking day and just be happy as a clam. There are range traders that would trade the high and low of that range, and they'll just keep price right there. Buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling all day long, and they're making tons of money doing it. Us retail folks, we wait for the breakouts. They wait for the ranges. There is a way to make money on these ranges. I just always pick the one candle where it decides to break. I'm going to stay laser focused on longs here. We're back down to midnight. These are overnight lows. Did I mark midnight over here? Didn't. That's the midnight candle. That's midnight open there. I might miss this gigantic down move, and we're only going to go down. We're never going back up the rest of the day. But I'm not going to take another crappy trade and erode more of the profits I already made just because I'm eager to get into a trade. This would be, due to the PD arrays, a good down move to take. But since we're still in this range, I just can't take it. So that's our highest high. That's our breaker. We went back up to it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then we finally fell out of bed. So moving away with a fair value gap here. Finally got below settlement. That may be the only one I would have taken there. Right now, I'm just laser focused on longs because we are extremely bullish and I'm going to stick with the trend. If the market had been going down for weeks at a time, then maybe I'd be looking at shorts. Right now, our last up close before the lowest low is barely an up close at all. It's right there. Over on ES, let's see what we got. Much more decisive move to the downside. Our last up close is way the heck up here. That's crazy. Surely we'll get another green candle somewhere down there along the way. There's a green one. Can we make a new low? Get a breaker down somewhere down close to the bottom? We didn't make a new low yet, but I'm assuming we will at least take out that low. There's our new low. So that would be our potential breaker right there. I'll label it PB. It's not a breaker yet. It just has the potential of becoming one. One thing I've noticed on these equities, I would like to see both of them take these lows, but they don't have to. Midnight marks the dealing range. So the midnight open all the way to the high of the day, that's our dealing range. So if you look at it from that perspective, like let's mark ES. I'll give you an example. If we open above midnight open, typically we close above midnight open. So big money's looking at this and they're thinking, ooh, I want to buy in this, the lower half of that dealing range. So when we take out this 4-hour low, if we take it on ES, we're about to take it on NQ here in just a minute. They would be wanting to buy here. So looking for a reversal pattern in this area would be your best bet. the dealing range for NQ, we're already pushing below midnight. If we can fair value gap and hold below midnight, then you know we've got a directional day to the downside. We don't know any of that yet. We're still waiting for the market to tip its hand. All I know right now is I've got a potential breaker right there. And with ES, I've got a potential breaker right there. And I'm in an area that if I was going to take a long, we're below the halfway point. Halfway point is 78.15. I want to buy hopefully below that area. So hopefully we get another push down. And that is a really aggressive move. There's not a lot of fair value gaps, but every single candle closing red is kind of interesting. So NQ took its 4-hour just barely. It is a Friday, and extending the weekly range on a Friday is uncommon. So we could go down all day. I may not get another trade. All I know is I'm laser focused on longs. That looks like an order block to me. A nice order block. Made a new low. That's something we can work with right there. So somebody decided they wanted to buy in this area right here. They didn't buy so much over here. Still more sellers coming in. You can see the volume candle growing as we're going down. Overnight low is here. Wonder where the AM low is for yesterday. Ooh, we got that little low right there. I'll mark that out as a point of interest. That was, yeah, that's the AM low right there. Point of interest. So that would put, if we can take it, that would put ES down here. And that's a nice little order block there too. If it'll remain green. Come on, hard push. One more hard red candle push. Let's go. Overnight lows are right here. They're also a point of interest. Made a new low there. Made a new low here. We did not make a new low here yet. I think we will. I'll just leave it there. But currently, this is the breaker until we make a new low. If I'm not doing anything else, I'll just leave it there. $30,100 at this point of interest. It's a nice round number. A cluster of lows on the extended chart. Four-hour fair value gap here. See what ES 4-hour looks like. It took that one already, but it's not the 4-hour regular trading hour low. It's just a 4-hour low. And it's got a fair value gap pretty far down. This is when it pulled back 75% of its daily move yesterday. So this one would be considered a premium wick. And you could put quadrants on it if you wanted to. I don't think it's really all that necessary. 25%, you'd want candle bodies staying above 50% of that wick to remain bullish on the day. %50 is 78.05. I could see it going there. This still remains the low point of the day. We're gonna make a run now. We'll see. ES did not take its low, but NQ did. It took that other 4-hour low, but not the regular trading hour low. That's okay. Doesn't have to. If we get a signal here, we need to take it. We pulled almost 40 points. Yeah, 40 points from the low. Volume imbalance on this side. Nice fair value gap to the upside. Will it remain open? Candle continuing up. That's what I like to see. We could leave some liquidity up above. These wicks right here might be all we're reaching for. And then this one would be the next one or right above that at 92. This is the fair value gap. The first one after this push down is right here. After we finally broke, that's the first one. Maybe that's the target to the upside and we continue down. So We did not form a fair value gap above the breaker there. This is how the system will keep you out of trouble. The fair value gap has to be above the breaker. See, we left these lows here. This is a nice little order block forming, though. The order block, it's usually three, but three green candles. 1, 2, 3. And so that would be the point we would need to get above once we fall out of bed. If we push lower here. I don't see a big boost in volume on that order block, but there are definitely some orders coming in. Trying to make a change in the state of delivery. Will this one remain open? Nope, it did not remain open. I got at least 5 minutes before this one finds bottom. I'm gonna go get me a cup of coffee. Be right back. Coffee in hand. There's my hypo. We're right at the 1050 macro. I think we push lower here, probably pretty rapidly. Once we take these lows, then we'll start working our way back up here to settlement. That's my hypo. The other possibility is the macro drives us higher, and then we go take settlement, maybe. I don't think we're looking at a directional day to the downside, but I don't think this is our bottom either. It's just going to torture us a little bit first. Here's where if you're patient, you can make some money. If we get down, I'm thinking we could go all the way to here, 30,100. But we may end up pushing all the way back down, taking all yesterday's move back, maybe here. That'd be 30,000. That'd be crazy, but we could. It is Friday. Let's look at that weekly candle real quick. The week opened 29,842. We do the whole weekly candle here. Halfway points here. Remaining bullish is 25%. That would be the right at the point of interest. ES looks like it's returned to its breaker and it's pulling away with a fair value gap. So maybe we push higher here. I don't like this on NQ at all. I don't like all that chop. I don't like that ES did not take its low. I'm going to take it like it's going to happen. That's my hypo. It may still run up, but I think we're okay. I like the speed in which this pushed down. We really rejected here, and we still have that low right here that we need to get. So I'm just going to try to grab a few points here. If we can survive hitting these lows and not go straight back up, then we're good. It should push on through. It may go run those highs though, in which case I will lose $100. I think we leave those for later. We go down here, put up a reversal pattern, and we attack those highs right there and go back to settlement. Very nice. Keep on going. Make a believer out of me. I don't like that candle wick. Come on. Get your butt down there. You know what you want to do. Now go do it. ES is making its way. Drag it. Drag NQ with you. Hard push. You know there's stops there. Everybody's thinking, oh, we're going up, we're going up. They got their stop right beneath there. Go run them. Gotta go make sure anybody that put a stop right above these gets whipped out first. It may go take my stop first. What am I talking about? I think it leaves them though. Come on, we need some downward momentum here. 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Top of the hour can get a little dicey. Come on. Push. I didn't put my little label up here. That's what they needed me to do, is just quit watching it for a second and type something into a box. And then it'll move. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. Come on, baby, let's go. Maybe we don't make it all the way to my profit target. I've mentioned in previous videos, failing to validate a breaker is just as much a signal to go short as one that validates. All right, so we swept that low there. Will we make it all the way down to my TP, my point of interest? I think there's a good chance of it. There we go. Top of the hour in 1 minute. Can get a little dicey. I'm going to buy 2 of them back, book some of that profit. We just took it here. I'm going to take it off. Okay, so that puts us a new breaker a little lower down in the chain. Right there. And then we got this one over here. I still think we push down here, but I'm not going to be demanding that it go down there. I made a couple $100 on that, so I'm not going to split hairs. I made back some of the money I lost on those other ones that I was a little too trigger happy for. But I could see this definitely validating this breaker here and start working its way back up to settlement. And I can see it falling out of bed too and going to 30,000. ES could definitely make it to 78. I watched a video on Lumi talking about midnight open, and she had some statistics about how often price goes back to midnight open on days of the week. I can't remember what she said on Friday. I'm going to see if I can find it on my phone real quick. And then I'll just tell you. Lumi Trades. There she is.
Trade futures on the go with Ninja Trader Mobile. Place trade.
Okay, I'm going to find it here. No, she didn't say anything about Fridays. She just said Tuesdays and Thursdays were the main days that it pulls back to midnight open. We're getting an SMT here, possibly. If I would have left that one on, I would have got my 400 bucks. Pretty close to it anyway. 30,100 is the $400 mark. And I'd say there's a pretty good chance it's going to hit there. This line right here is 25% retrace of the week. And that's where my bounce point, I'm thinking, is going to be this is the AM session pullback, 11:52 yesterday. When we pulled back, that's as far as down as we got. And we're well below, well, not well below, but we're below the we would be buying in a discount down here. I think that's it. Was it the daily candle I looked at for that discount array? Oh yeah, from the dealing range, from the high of the day to the midnight. If we are going to range today, we would be in the lower portion of the range. Yeah, so we're in the lower portion of the range. We may go all the way to midnight. We may just keep going down all day. But I doubt it. Midnight's the halfway point of this daily candle. Come on, NQ. Get down there and take that point of interest. Looks like we have some more breakers forming. We got this one a little bit lower. Not much. We've taken that, so we can get rid of it. There's a whole lot of hurry up and waiting in this trading business. If you're not patient enough to wait, then it's going to be a difficult trading profession for you. All right, I think we may have just made a new low. So our last up close now is right there. Watch the volume as we start working our way down here. When we get through here, maybe we push through with a big candle. You should see the volume spike. Just because it's a red volume spike, see it's spiking over there on NQ right now, on ES right now. Just because it's a red volume spike, it doesn't really mean that we're going lower. Volume precedes price. So as we start getting a lot of volume here, even though if we're going to the downside, we made a new low over here. So it just means there's a lot of shares trading hands right there. And so what you would normally see is a spike. We didn't see it over here. Okay, now finally there came one. So we popped some stops there. Is that all the market wants? Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows. If this is the bottom of the run, I sure do like to see it finish with a green candle. But I don't know if this is the bottom of the run. Did we make it to 100? Looks like we pretty much did. I think it'd be pretty cool to touch that to the tick. Yeah, we got a little lower to go. This is 75% of the dealing range for the day. Midnight open is still a ways down. It's right at 7,800. I'm liking the volume over here. When we hit this one, we spiked. When we hit this one, we spiked again. This could be it. Got these relative equal highs right here. Relative equal highs here. Point of interest taken. We need an attempt to push lower to fail. Got a new low. New breaker. S&T. Pulled back 25% of the weekly range. All these things are lining up nice. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's lining up nice. Lots of confluence. Nice green candle rejection there. Higher low. See, I can talk myself right into it. This thing could rip to 30,000. So I'm not taking a trade until it gets above that yellow line right there. With a fair value gap that is respected. Time of day is wrong now. We're at London MOC. Those London Bridge building fellas, they like to come in and mess up the market from about 11 to 11:30, even a little bit past. All right, got a new low, new breaker. Oh, look at that volume increasing. Directional day to the downside. This is sweet. Keep falling, baby. Keep falling. Whenever you think of these runs going down like this, and you can get in on them, definitely. You can just use the breaker system on that if you can define a high, like that was a push up, breaker there, wait for a fair value gap beneath it, and then sell short. In that situation, London MOC. It shows right here. That's my clock. It's 11:16, so we got 15 more minutes of London bridge building, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, to mess up the market for a minute, mess up the long opportunities for a minute. 75% of the dealing range, 100% of the dealing range. I hope you can see how this system keeps you out of getting into stupid trades. When it validates a breaker to the upside, your chances of making a little bit of money on it or to the downside, your chances of making a little bit of money on it are really good. You can see all this push down. That's the only little bitty fair value gap. So there's no aggressiveness to this move down. It's just a choppy move. That's the only one. So if we were going to reject off of it, we would reject right there. All of this move. Brand new 15-minute candle, 4 minutes in. And it could be, I've seen it change course at 11:30. There's another rule. There's a couple of rules. We usually don't extend the weekly range on a Friday. We didn't. Would this be considered the market reversing? Because they also say if the market hasn't reversed by 11, it probably won't. There's also a don't fight a directional day on a Friday saying. And there's also when we start making all-time highs, expect it to continue until proven otherwise. Several different sayings. I don't know if any of them mean anything. But this right here means something. We pushed down, failed to go any lower, went up. Tried to push down, failed to go any lower, went up. Push down, went up. So, but we're also pushing up and coming back down. Those candle bodies, just tight, tight, tight. Are we getting the same kind of price action over here? Nope. Fair value gap above this line, respected. That's the only thing we can take a trade on here. Or a continued fall out of bed, you could take a short. Last 10 minutes of London session, could see some craziness here. Made a new low. New potential breaker. and potential breaker. This line is too clean, too straight. Too clean, too straight. We're going back there eventually, and I'm going to catch it when it does. And I'm going to make some good money. Man, is that thing ever falling out of bed? That's a 50-point drop. 5 points over here. We may be having a directional day. I may not get a reversal pattern today. The continuation pattern, when we run up here, you mark the last green candle before the highest point, fair value gap beneath it, you wouldn't have gotten an entry. But on this other one, you would have gotten an entry. Highest point, last green candle, but we wouldn't have gotten a fair value gap till right here. So that's your entry, and you go short and aim for whatever it is you want to aim for. It looks like we're going back to 30,000. This is half the day's range right here. We may be going all the way to there. We may bounce off a midnight open over here, and then Q just, you never know. We have made a new low, so we have a new potential breaker right here. Corresponds well with the one over here. $78.03. I think round numbers in play. What do y'all think? This is half the weekly move. Yeah, weekly. Half of yesterday, maybe. No, that's the week. That's a weekly candle. Half of the week's move right there. 29.03. Or 29.07 even. I got it a little bit high because it should be only to Thursday. And we took out the high of the week there, and now we're pushing down. This would have been a good day to take a short. Wish I would have been thinking short instead of laser focused on longs. You know what they say, the trend is your friend. New low, new potential breaker. Didn't quite make it to 7,800 yet. Three minutes until London MOC is completed. Could we possibly be validating a breaker to the upside without hitting round number? Without going to midnight open? Could MES go there while NQ only makes a minor pullback? We're definitely validating a breaker to the upside here. Will it remain open? This is London MOC. This is the last minute of London session right here. It ends at 11:30 New York time, which is 11:29 right now. And it can trickle in about the next 4 or 5 minutes. But an up move here, it is possible that we could continue up from here, but I would definitely want to see this thing, the next three candles form. This one's attempting to create a fair value gap. Oh, what happened there, folks? Painted that sucker right back up, didn't we? Immediate rebalance. So now we've got a 200-point move back to settlement. Maybe we can catch 100 of it if we get a reversal at all. I think we're about to make a new low. Come on, baby. Make a new low. Or you don't have to. We can try to push lower and fail and pull away with a fair value gap to the upside. That'd be okay too. That short I was in earlier, just trying to get to the point of interest and killed it early. Could I have a do over on that one? Man, we've nearly gone through this entire fair value gap. Could be a directional. That's the halfway point of the fair value gap. Halfway point of the week. Excuse me. A week of major symptoms and then another 2 weeks of minor cough, low grade fever, just feeling crappy in general. Okay, so this is a higher low. Can we get an FEG to the upside? Getting one forming over here. Will it remain open? And will we trust it for a full pull back to settlement? Or will we only be looking to get to relative swing highs? Nice clean straight line right there. Stay open for me. So we need to see this fair value gap remain open and be respected. And it was not. Did not remain open, so it wasn't even a fair value gap. It had the potential of being one. You know, that ran a high. The person could go short here. With a fair value gap to the downside. I'm going to wait for my long. I'm not going to take a short. At any point, buyers could step in here and drive this price right up to the top again. It may not happen today, and that's okay. I think I took 4 trades. Lost a little on 3 and made money on number 4. That was a hard push right there. Hard push down that didn't go any lower. If we can get a fair value gap to the upside here, I might take it. Time of day is all wrong, though. 12:30, I'd be like, yeah. 11:30, yeah. I've seen it happen at 11:30 before. 12:30 is a lot more common. 11:30 to 12:30 is more chop zone than anything else. Question is this a range day or a directional day? That 50% mark, it would need to fall another 100 points to get there. 150. I think it could do it. I really do. I think it could do it within the next hour. And then we would bounce from there. That's my new hypo. Where's MES weekly range here? Well, we got to go to the daily candle, and we got to count. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we go from Thursday's high to Tuesday's low. And its 50% mark is at 7787. Yeah. I could see that unfolding. So on a continuation pattern, last up close candles here, last red candle before the highest high is here. We would need a fair value gap closing beneath that if we wanted to enter a short. And we would enter at the fair value gap, provided that we get an opportunity. I think we're too far into the run to try to take a short here. Just the last 100 points. If we go back to settlement, which we may or may not, but we could go back to 25%, 30,001, that's 200 points too. I don't know. Might be another one of those days where I just watch price action and I don't do nothing. Oh, I need to go back to that daily for a minute. I'm going to expand this out. Oh, wrong one. Expand this out where we can see it once I click off, because I think that might be a target right there. 7791, 7787 ish. 7790. Right there, that line. We could mark it out. Ooh. There's an RTH gap underneath it too. Yeah, come on. Really? We're going to take the entire move of yesterday back after making an all-time high? It's possible. We're making another new low. That's interesting. We could definitely take the entire move of yesterday back. Look at that. Barcode on the daily for NQ, for ES. Well, it wouldn't be a barcode on the daily. It would be RTH. That's right. That's right there, pretty close to that. Let's do a 5-minute over here. 5-minute RTH. Yeah, it's right there at the midnight open. Oh no, that's midnight open is the pullback of yesterday, or yeah, Thursday. That's the 75% pullback of this move. And then this is where we started yesterday, which would be the 50% pullback of the week. I could see this happening. Good Lord. I'll put it as a point of interest as well. I may just be a tape reader today. I may not take another trade. It looks like something happened over here in NQ though. We made it down to here. Now we're ripping up. Yeah, I don't trust any of this. I think any push up at this point will be an opportunity to get short. I mean, you could, if we do validate a breaker, you could try to get to the relative equal highs or like that. You know, it's the most recent swing high. But I would not hold it more than there. Just grab a few points and be happy. It is definitely reacting to something. But with this being the pullback from yesterday, that low, meh, I'm not interested. Not interested. But that might be our low of the day. I missed the big move. What happened to my MES? There it is. I must have moved it over too far. Now where is it? Good Lord. That's crazy. All right. Bring you back over. We're going to put you right there. Now let's see if we can see it. All right. We found it. Yep. The willingness of this thing to continue pushing lower is this is another point of interest just below midnight right there. I'll just pretend like it's midnight. That one definitely is a point of interest. Okay, we had another attempt to push higher, fail. Creating a new breaker as soon as we make a new low here, which we're about to. I would bet $1 to a donut we do. If anybody's willing to do that. You know, donuts aren't cheap anymore, though. That's probably, you have to bet like $10 to a donut. But it's funny, that saying used to be $1 to a donut. I guess you could probably buy a dozen of them for a couple of bucks when that saying was created. I remember they were pretty cheap when I was growing up. They're not anymore. You buy a dozen donuts, it's going to be $1 a donut. At least 12 bucks for a dozen. I think it's even a little bit more than 12 bucks for a dozen. It looks like, yeah, ES made a new low, but NQ didn't. We did make a new low here. So the potential breaker is actually here now for NQ. And I'm going to go ahead and try to take an entry right here. Maybe it's foolish, but I'm going to try right there just for a push to these highs right here. If you put on a 15-minute candle, it would be the high of this 15-minute candle is all I'm going to try for. And I might get smoked. But we really haven't done anything to unseat shorts since way up here. We really haven't had a single 15-minute candle top get taken. And it's time. It's time. So I'm going to try it. Worst case scenario, I'm going to lose $100 here. I would like to see ES above its breaker as well, but I'm going to give it a shot. Worst case scenario, I don't get filled, lose $100. Maybe I should have put it a tick above the high of that candle's low. I'll move it to a tick above. I think it's going to go without me. I'm going to try midway of this candle, where that candle's open. Now it's taking those highs. Come on. Fill me first. This isn't a scenario I want to chase because this. I think we are going to run a little bit of liquidity, but we're not going to run a lot. Let's try right there at 64. I don't know. It's a difficult one to. We'll try it right there at 64. 64 half. Just going to try to grab 10 points. I don't even know if we'll get them. So fair value gap, another fair value gap. We'll try to enter at that one. We may come all the way back to the breaker. We may not run the high at all. You didn't get, you dirty rat. Touched me but didn't fill me. See that? Let's see if ES leaves its fair value gap open here. Or NQ. Either one of them leave this fair value gap open here. I might go ahead and try it, but we did sweep the near term. That's really all you got to do there for that reversal pattern to be complete. I like to see the next one go up. Also, we could pull back to here and still be good. Let's wait for this candle to finish. And we'll see what it looks like. I think an immediate rebalance is probably going to happen. Maybe not. We haven't had any pullback in a long time. The market doesn't typically go one direction for 4 solid hours. Unless we're on a directional day. Even on a directional day, you'll get a little bit of a pullback. And we really haven't. Well, this one is staying open. I'm going to try it. Fill me, you dirty rat fink. I'll try to open of that candle there. There we go. Fill me. Son of a gun. Come on. Fill me. All right. And we're going to aim for those relative equal highs right up here, hopefully. We may get smoked. Let's look at a 15-minute candle over here. Where's the... We just took that one. So we could aim for this one, or that one. We're going to get smoked. Typically, when these things fail, that's when it is when it's a directional day. Hopefully, it won't fail. I don't have enough risk on for this size. I put on 10. I need to be beneath the breaker here. I mean, beneath the fair value gap for this to actually work out. It could still paint it. Where's the next 15-minute high? I think just aiming for that one would be our best bet. Looks like we're going to get smoked. I should be on NQ trading one micro. I got Friday. I'm not really solidly committed to this trade here. I feel like I should get rid of it. We'll let it try. Let it try. Dirty rat finger. Should have just killed it. I'm gonna take one over here. Because it actually validated its breaker, returned to the fair value gap. And we have quite a bit of liquidity up above. I don't know that we're done going down, but that's a good trade. That's a good setup over here. At least maybe I can make back the money I just lost over here. Come on. We need continuation. That would be up there to that fair value gap, that 15-minute high right there. That would be sweet if we can get there. Not that far away. Come on, baby. Come on. Do it for me. The ES, if I wouldn't have put so much size, it's starting to head that way as well. I do think once we take that, we'll probably offer lower again. I don't think we'll go all the way to settlement. It's too much of a directional day. I think we could just chop and range here. Come on. The most highest probability is that we just take that high right there. And maybe that's all I should be aiming for. But I like the fact that we have gone down since 9:15 without running a single 15-minute high. We just finally ran two, but they were just the ones that were just created. So I think running this one is highly likely. So I'm going to try to let it do its thing here. Brand new 15-minute candle. Please go straight up. Wick testing is a possibility. Let's go. Rip. I was just a little early on NQ. I mean on ES over here. Wick me out. So I think ES could go right up to these relative equal highs right here. It may not go now. It may try to aim lower first. But if it can get there, we should be able to get here without a problem. Its equivalent would be, let's look at the 1 minute because it had a similar array right there, right at midnight. Man, wouldn't that be a sweet day? I'm not going to get too greedy though. If it'll get back to here, I'll be happy with that profit. Right now, I don't even know if it's going to get back to there. I need to take this risk off here. That's 10 points away. It may go there, but I don't think it's going to go straight there. I think it could go straight to this one. Relatively straight. Another fair value gap. Well, it wasn't. It's just a candle wick. Break, retest. Let's go. Get up there. I think 78.10 is the line in the sand over here, so we need to really put up a 20-point run here. Maybe round numbers all I should be aiming for. Maybe I should take the majority off at round number. Maybe I should take it all off now. I'm up 223, 224. Come on, just let one little trade work out for me here. Come on. I'm getting too nervous. I may regret that, but I put 250 in the bag. I'm going to try to add two more right here and see if we can get to that round number. But I had a feeling it was going to stop me out. ES is just about to take that high, and I figured a pullback was coming, and it is. Let's just watch for a minute. Because this is definitely not an aggressive move up. That's the fair value gap there. We could come all the way back to there. No. I think that's a good entry. Is this the reversal of the day? Or do we make an attempt to push lower and fail or succeed? I don't know. I think either way, I'm going to call the live stream. A couple of trades, decent setup trades, one short, one long. That's a nice little PD array right there where we've got a fair value gap. We wick back into it, and then we jumped in there. And, I said that's the most high probability, and it is. We may end up going higher, but highest probability is right there. And so if you're in here, that was like 20 points. I ended up having 6 contracts on and made 250 bucks. So that ain't bad. You don't have to have $2,000 wins every time you click a mouse. Those $200 trades add up. It would be nice if I could get a decisive move to the upside, or if I would have been reading the market better and taken a short in this area, or held the short I had a little longer. I killed it with a $200 profit. So if I would have held it a little longer, then I would have been in that $600-700 range on it. And you can see this one's going on up now. I could rejoin now that we're getting another fair value gap above. I could definitely try to rejoin at the high of this. Just don't want to erode any profits, but maybe I just get a couple of micros and just see where they go. That's kind of the same thing as doing like a scaling out, where you just take a couple of them off and then let the other two run. So I did miss out on, I think when I killed it, I was around here. So it would be the same as if I just sold 4 instead of selling all 6. And I didn't have to endure this pullback. So I'm thinking same place. We're looking at 30,112 as our target right there, that 15-minute high. And that would be working into this 15-minute fair value gap. ES did not make a new high here where NQ did, so we could get smoked on this one. But NQ didn't quite make it to 78.10. So I think we're okay. See that 15-minute high for ES right here? It left it. So I think it'll at least take that. And that should send us to our 15-minute high on NQ. But if it doesn't go within the next minute or two, I'm just gonna kill it. In fact, I think I'm just gonna try it there. That's only 53 bucks, but round numbers a lot higher probability than taking that. It'll probably go there, but do I need to leave risk on to be right? If it doesn't start going my way in a rapid fashion, I'm going to get out of this one too. Okay, there we go. Let's do this. One here. What? Where's my order? Oh, I hit market sell instead of limit sell, so I'm already out one. Oh well. We'll just leave one on. I'm tired of messing with it. Go there. Stop me out. Whichever you want to do. I don't care. I'm ready for a break. Close enough. All right. Thanks for watching. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to one another. Love each and every one of you. Until next time, trade well.